Yeah, sounds good.
Can everyone see the chart on the screen? Hello?
Yeah, that's coming up. That's good.
Sweet. All right, let's get started. So guys, tonight I just want to do a bit of an overview on the whole market before the open tomorrow. There's probably some of you who've seen my post earlier about the diving board pattern. Maybe there's some of you that haven't, but it's something pretty significant that's going on at the moment. So I'll just explain it to you. Now, this is an old chart of USD Japanese dollar, and you can see how you have a horizontal range coming from the left up here to the right, where the price has just been trading in between it. And then we broke down out of this horizontal range, which was when coronavirus happened, first of all, should state that. And the V bottom occurred, and this is what's called a diving board pattern. So I'm just going to pull up an example.
846.
8.6.
Yes, no.
1 second, guys.
I hate the alarms here. It's like,
Can you guys see the example there?
no.
Can you guys see that? No, this is a diving board pattern. You can see it trades between a range, drops with a V bottom, and then breaks to another high. Now let's go back to the chart. So this was USD Japanese dollar. And I saw this and I noticed the pattern and I thought, nah, there's no way it's going to play out. Let's press play and see what happens.
You're on. 645.
So it hits right at the top of this diving board and then rejects, as you can see. And then we come under the support and we reject again. And this is when a small bear trend starts. So that's just an example. Now let's look at the market overall.
I'm gonna wake up from my sleep.
Not hanging up yourself.
1 second, guys. Just going to mute.
Yeah.
All right. If anyone's got any questions, just type them in the chat. So this is the diving board that played out on USD JPY. Now let's look at the rest of the market at the moment. So first of all, silver. Now silver was the second thing I noticed to have a diving board pattern. So as you can see, we have the horizontal trading range. We've come down with the V bottom and then we've launched up and now we're back in this trading range again. And the whole idea of this pattern is that it's going to reach this top blue level again. So looking at silver right now, it's in a really interesting spot. So we've come through the support of the diving board. Now we've had a bull flag, which I've drawn in here. The flag broke out, was rejected, and now we're just on the verge of having a bullish retest of this bottom support here. So if silver can hold this blue line as support, then I'm very confident we're going to come up to $19 here. But the thing about these calls is that if coronavirus has a second wave, because right now the Southern Hemisphere is going into flu season, which can mean it can spike again. If it has a second wave, it can potentially dump off the whole market. So if that doesn't happen, I think it's going to be very likely that we come up to $19 here. So now I'm going to show you why I think this idea is something really important to watch over the whole market. So you can see that USD Japanese dollar was the first diving board. Then silver followed. And what I noticed is silver put in a rounded top. So I put that on the chart now. Right. That's the rounded top. Let's go to the 4 hour so we can get a better view. Go back a bit. Okay. So silver put in the rounded top, and around the top, I've got an example for you guys here. I'm just going to share it on the screen. Just a second. All right. So this is around the top. And you can see that it forms like a rounded structure. And then once that's broken, it signifies that the trend has changed. So around the tops, they can be a bearish or a bullish pattern. So it forms this rounded kind of structure. And then it will either come down under that, which is similar to a cup and handle, or it can break out. And all around the top is a signification of the trend changing from bullish to bearish very slowly over a rounded pattern. Now we'll go back to the chart. So we can see the rounded top. Now these patterns, first of all, I only like them to have 5 touches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on this 5th or 7th, they'll break out upwards. So like this, or it'll reject and it'll come down from that same circular resistance. So when silver did this, I called this and I told people to pay attention, but I don't think many listens. But this was the exact moment that silver changed from the consolidation to bullish. You can see it just went crazy from there and straight up to this diving board target. All right. So we just got a couple new people. I'll just let them join in first. Hey guys. So for those who weren't paying attention or missed out earlier, we're looking at a pattern called the diving board. It's on a few different markets at the moment, and it's a horizontal trading range, usually found on the weekly. And it goes across like this, and then it breaks down with huge volume and forms a V bottom, and it comes back up to touch the top of the horizontal range. So this is the first example we just showed. This is USD, Japanese dollar. So horizontal range, all right, V bottom, hits the top of the diving board and rejects. So silver is looking to do the same thing here. We just need to hold this blue area as supports. So we had the flag, it broke out, got rejected. We have wrecked a lot of people long with this bit that went under the flag support here, which could have been a nice liquidity grab. So there's definitely a high chance that this can pump from here. If we break this MA, the 18-day MA, we can definitely come up from here up to there. If it goes under this this blue support, which I circled, like this, if it comes back up and it gets rejected here, this is a short opportunity. So it's failure of the diving board pattern. Okay, guys? So that's just silver and USD, Japanese dollar. Now let's move on to US 500. Okay. So this is the diving board on US 500. Now it's a bit different, this one, because, sorry guys, just a sec. First of all, the actual horizontal range is on a slanted, it's slanted upwards. Now I had a chat with the guy who actually created the book on chart patterns, and I emailed him about these patterns. I said, are you seeing them? Like, what do you think of all this? And he said to me that this is like the best chance and one of the only times we're ever going to see this pattern. It's very rare and it only forms on the weekly or the daily. And he said that this is still viable, even though the trading range is going upwards. It's just harder to find a take profit target. So you saw the last two charts, how they played out. Now let's look at this right now, where we are on the SP500. So first of all, we have two gaps here. We have one gap at 3,300 or so, and we have one gap at about 3,000. Now the first gap is filled, right? The second gap is not filled. Just wanted to note that. Now we've also got a small flag here, down here. If we go to the 4 hour, we can see it a bit more clearly. So there's a flag. Let's put in the measured moves. So we've got the flag target just above us, right? So this flag is broken out. If we drag this along, you can see it's still holding above the flag support. It's still, this could be considered a bullish retest. Now let's take that off. So the measured move from this flag can take us up here, all right, to this flag target. Now let's get rid of the flag. Let's zoom out a bit. So we saw silver painted around the top and it broke out to hit the top of the diving board. Now let's look here on SP500, bang. So you can see the clear rounded top. I've put in the rounded top breakout level here. All right. So you can see right now, if we break out of this level, this is the breakout of the rounded top. Also the continuation of a bull flag, which is going to take us to around 3,100 to these two targets here. All right. Now let's get rid of this. Now let's look at the pivots. So the weekly pivots, first of all, it's the same level as the rounded top breakout and it's very significant. So according to this chart, if we can get above 2,980 or so, I think it's very, very likely we're going to fill this gap here at 3,300. And then we can possibly come up here to test the diving board resistance on SP500. But that's only if we hold an uptrend and continue up, right? So if coronavirus has a second wave, this can easily fail. But looking at the other charts I've observed, I think there's a high chance if we hold the uptrends, we can see this diving board pattern actually play out. All right. And what else was I going to say? So let's look at something interesting here. So using the Fibonacci tool, by drawing this swing up to here, you can see we bounce exactly off the 0.382 or the 0.618, depending on how you draw your fibs. But the golden fib, we bounce up off it. So that should signify a continuation of uptrends. Now let's just do a small study on silver again. Let's get rid of some of these lines for you guys. All right, so this little swing in here. Now look at this, 0.618 bounce here and 0.5 here. For me, when I use the fibs, I look for bounces off these three levels for a continuation of an uptrend. So we can see silver did that. We can see US 500 is doing that. And let's have a look here on what USD Japanese dollar did. All right, 0.618 bounce, hit the diving board target. So you guys, I'm sure you can get the general idea now of how the markets, they're all linked and they're all very similar, playing out very similar at the moment. So here's the rounded top and the diving board on SP500. And now let's look at US30. Now US30 is and SP500, they're nearly the same. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on this one. But you can see the diving board. You can see the rounded structure. You got the gaps, and you got the pivot. So sorry if the chart's a bit messy. So if we can break this rounded top on US30, then we can come up here just like the other charts. But we need to hold the uptrend. And for me personally, if you see the MAs on my chart, I use to identify uptrends and downtrends, I use the 150-day SMA. When price is below it, you look for shorts and it's assumed to be in a downtrend. When price comes above it, you can look for longs and assume to be in an uptrend. So you can see how price reacts to it. And it's pretty interesting on the weekly. I'll go to the weekly and have a look. Let's fix up the chart. All right. So like I said, 150-day SMA, which is yellow, 18-day MA is blue, and you can use these to check what kind of trends you want to be in. I don't use them for MA crosses or anything like that, just to see which way the trend can be potentially going. So on the weekly, we've just come out of the 150-day SMA and we're kind of bouncing off it. And we're just under the 18-day MA. And once we get above this 18-day, it's very, very likely we're going to hit the diving board target, because that's the... Now, this is an idea from Thomas Bulkowski. He's the guy who created the Chart Patterns Encyclopedia. So first of all, I'll give credit to him, and you can visit his website, thepatternSite.com, and you can find all more detailed information about this. But he says you need to watch the MAs, and when they cross is the signal that the diving board is very likely to play out. So this is the weekly. Once again, let's take the lines off. So US500, we're about to cross the 18-day MA. Silver, you can see we crossed the 18-day MA and then we come into the diving board. And USD, Japanese dollar. So it's a bit hard to see. You can see the diving board there. This one, it was a bit lagging on the weekly. Let's see on the daily. Right, it's very similar. So you can see here we crossed the 18-day MA and then we hit the top of the diving board. So we can assume that US30 here on the weekly, if we do get above 25,000, we might see some really bullish activity here. All right. Sorry guys, just one sec. I'm really using a annoying laptop at the moment. It's hard to bring up the lines and stuff. So yeah, here's the diving board again, US30, all right? So that's a couple I've shown you, but there's still more that I've located in the market. Let's look at UK100. Now this is UK100 on the weekly. All right. So you can see the horizontal range that's just consolidating. We dump under it, we create the possible V bottom, and now we're looking at long opportunities to go long on this diving board. So let's go to a lower time frame. Right, and what do we see here? Now, we already seen the signs from the other charts that show us that this could potentially be a good long from here. So let's draw the fib first of all. From this swing down here to up here. All right, we can see we've bounced off the 0.618. We can also see we're putting in the rounded top structure, the same as the other charts. But the only difference with UK100 is that we haven't actually broken out of this rounded top structure yet. So we'll be looking at around 6,200 for confirmation, all right? Now, what else can we see in this chart? First of all, we have a flag that's broken up, come down and wrecked everyone, stopping them out. which is actually the best entry position for a long. So we could potentially see this as a liquidity grab to move upwards here to the top of the diving board. Now I'll take the flag off. There's also one thing here I noticed, which is a double bottom. All right, I've drawn in the line there. We've got two bottoms at the same level off the 0.618. We've broken out. We've been, the price has thrown back instantly to the 150-day SMA, which I had described before. And now we've bounced out of it. So it's definitely possible on the open tomorrow that we can continue up from here. All right, so I'll just overview it. So we've got the bounce of the fib, we've got the rounded top, and we've got the diving board on UK100, which if you look at silver, let's go back and look. Get the circle up, right? It's the same setup. The market is just following each other, but it's not guaranteed to happen, guys. So we have to try get a good entry with a lot of room for us to go wrong. So if coronavirus does have a second wave and throws us out of our trade, we're not going to lose so much. We don't want to be buying too high. We want to find a nice entry where traders are getting shaken out, and we're going to enter when they're in their fear and the market's going to pump, which is what happened already last week. I don't know if some of you guys saw the article I posted. If you go, I'm going to link it when I'm finished. So you go to Medium. And I read a small article about the diving board pattern, which I'll link to you guys after this. You can see it here. The pattern watch diving board. And I posted all these charts. So this was the original diving board calls before they played out. So let's scroll down a bit. Now you can see UK100 here. It was bouncing off the golden fib when I posted that. And I'll just circle the area, right? Right there is that post. You can see we had a really nice gain. That was my entry. So I've got a lot of room here. If it goes the other way, I'm not going to really lose out much. But if you long now and it goes the other way, you can easily get wrecked. So we've got to pay attention, watch for the breakout of the rounded top and find a really good entry and just let this thing run to the top of the diving board and pay attention. If coronavirus does have a second wave, be ready to take profit or whatever. All right, so that's the diving boards I've seen. There's one more that someone showed me, but it doesn't look the greatest. If you look at Webjet, Australian company. All right, so it doesn't have to be an exact horizontal range on the diving board. There does need to be a flat bottom. So if you can see, we bounce 1, 2, 3, that's a flat bottom, and then we dumped off hard. So if this does bounce now and form the V, it's a potential one, but right now it's just too early to tell on this. This is Webjet. All right, so that's the diving boards I've seen. Now let's move on to a few other things. I'm going to update quickly on gold and what I'm seeing. So looking at gold, zoom out a bit. Now gold is like really at a really important level here. So back in, look, 2011, we had a end of a massive run and we created this demand zone, which, supply zone. A supply zone is an area where price sells from. A demand zone is an area price is brought from. Simple as that. So we come down off the supply, we come up, we got rejected again, And now we're right back here on this level. So like this is really a deciding point for gold soon. We're either going to get rejected here and come down, or we're going to start trading through this supply zone. Now, it's also important to notice that there's a massive rounded bottom on gold. Now, around the bottom, it just signifies, see ya. Sorry, the family's leaving. The rounded bottom signifies a change from a bearish market to a bullish market slowly over a long period of time. So you can see it's respected this rounded circular structure. So if we do break out of this up here at the top of the supply zone, I'll just put a line there for you guys. All right. And if we turn this resistance into support, gold is going to absolutely launch. So look, gold can come down from here, right? It can reject here from 1750, but we still got this circular structure. And as long as this uptrend holds and it holds within this circular structure, we can continue to see gold go up. But the thing that we have to look at is, right, sorry, I'll go to a smaller time frame. So now we're at the supply zone, which is a zone price will dump from. And gold has broken under this trend line support here on the 4 hour. And we're right on this supply zone. So right now, the gold can dump from here unless we knock out 1765 and put in a high. As you can see, we've got a downtrend resistance. We're creating lower highs. And we've broken diagonal support on this line. I've made it red now. This is the diagonal support. We've broken down. And we're creating lower highs with this possible wedge pattern. So if it's either we're going to get rejected here on gold, like this, or we're going to break out here. Sorry guys, 1 sec. We're going to break out here and confirm this previous supply zone as support, and we're going to continue upwards. But gold is one thing I haven't been paying too much attention to the past week or two. So this is just a quick overview of what I see, just quickly looking at the chart. The other charts, I've been following them over a pretty decent period of time, so I'm more in tune with them, you know. So that's just what I feel about gold for now. And what else do we have? Only a couple more left, guys. Bitcoin, which is what I'm sure everyone wants to know about at the moment. So Bitcoin, you can see the order block areas, which I've put out in gray. They're just areas of support and resistance. They're drawn off the weekly. Now, in my group, the Crypto Collective, Kyle's, or Dax as people know him, his current idea, sorry, I just had to invite a few more people in. Welcome, guys. So his current idea is the symmetrical triangle. So this is one possibility for Bitcoin. We've bounced off the order block at 8,900 or so. We look to be putting in a swing on this symmetrical triangle. We're breaking the 18-day MA. So if we can come up here, bang, break out, and confirm this as support, we might actually finally see a breakout above 10K. That's one possibility here. But we've been rejected from 10,000 multiple times. It's a very strong resistance. So we have to look at the bearish options as well. So first of all, here we go. So there's a possible Adam and Eve. So if you don't know Adam and Eve, just go on the Bulkowski's pattern index or our Discord, and we have channels that explain what they are. It's just a double top with one top being rounded. So we have the Adam and the Eve, and if this breaks out under 8,500, we could potentially come to the next order block at 7,327. That's just one possibility if we do come down here, but it's also possible to come down to 8,500 and get rejected. The bears get rejected and we pump from there as well. Right now, there's many bearish signs, but we're holding lower, higher lows, and we're still in an uptrend. And right now, it looks like this could be the point where it just continues going up. Just some other possibilities on Bitcoin we can look at. First of all, there's a smaller Adam and Eve, right? See the fractal there. And this one is almost, the smaller Adam and Eve is almost on the point of being rejected. So if we come up a little bit more, this little one is, there's no possibility. And if we do come down from here, the measured move of the Adam and Eve is going to take us to the breakout of the larger one. So that's one thing to keep an eye on, guys. And there's also the broadening patterns. So let's go to the 1 day. Right? Broadening. So this is a broadening pattern. So broadening patterns, guys, there's the broadening descending wedge, there's the broadening top, and then there's the right angle broadening. So this is a broadening descending wedge. So you can see right now we're just on the resistance. So we're either going to break out here up, have a bullish retest, and move up to 11.5K or around 13.514. That's one possibility with this pattern. Now, if that doesn't happen, and we do get rejected, and we come down, right, we have a very strong order block here at 7,300. Let's draw a fib, right? And we see the three important fibs here for bounces: 3.82, 0.5, 0.168. If we do come down here and we start to get a rounded bottom and we bounce off this area, right, we can definitely break out of the pattern still, because this is what's called a partial decline. Now I'm just going to share another screen on the desktop, and here's the example. So this is a partial decline, as you can see in the middle of the screen. So this is a different pattern. This is a broadening bottom, but a partial decline is found on all broadening patterns. And when you see a partial decline, it has an average success rate of predicting an upwards breakout of 80% or so. So if we do reject here and come down, watch for a bounce in this area, guys, because it could be very, very significant. So that's just the few options I can see on Bitcoin right now. At the moment, I think like I don't think anyone really knows what's going on with Bitcoin. It's just been shaking out everyone left, right, and center. So my advice is to wait for something more clear, like a break of this resistance and a confirmation of support, or something like a bearish retest before entering a position. Because right now it could just go anyway, guys. I'm not going to pretend like I know what's going on. Well, if I look at silver and other markets, like I'm pretty confident they're going to go up as long as we don't have any fundamental factors in the market that's going to ruin the trade. Whereas Bitcoin, it's at a point where it could go anyway, guys. So just be cautious. And Ethereum, whatever, just going to the 4 hour. It's pretty much been following Bitcoin, but just a bit slower behind. Now, this is a broadening pattern I found, and you can see we broke out of this broadening pattern. We rejected off resistance at 217. And I was looking for a bullish retest on this broadening pattern, but this is what the market does to you sometimes. You know, if you've got OCD and you want to be a perfectionist, you might only look for an exact bounce off the trend line. But here you can see on ETH, we actually broke out under it. And then we bounced off the 0.382 and another order block. And that was the bullish retest. So depending on what kind of trader you are, you might catch moves like that or not. I like to wait for the ones that are like, it comes down to the resistance and it's just a direct bounce off it, you know. But we definitely have the possibility looking at F. If we can hold above 206, right, we can definitely bounce from here. There's looks like a possible inverse head and shoulders. And if that takes us above this order block at 215, I think it's very likely we can see around 230 on F or even higher. Now, if we break under, I'd say 190, right? If we break under here, I'd really be careful because once we put in another lower low, it's not looking good. And for F and Bitcoin, now this is looking really nice at the moment. Let's go to the 1 day. Sorry, 1 week. So these are the order blocks, the blue areas. So you can see F, this was resistance here. We've broken out, we've come down, we've bounced off of it. We've come down and now we're potentially bouncing again. We've hit a 0.618 golden fib. We've hit the order block and the RSI is possibly about to tick over. If it ticks over 50 here and we break above this 0.618 and the MA, we can definitely see some upside here because the alt market has been popping off lately. So yeah, FBTC, definitely one to keep an eye out on as well. What else can we see? Right, and look at the 150-day SMA. Like we are just on it, right? Just on this 0.618 as well, which is drawn from this swing high to this swing low. So if we can come up maybe about 500 more sats or pips, whatever you want to call them, this could be a really significant moment for FBTC. So definitely keep an eye on that, guys. So I'm going to unmute everyone now because that's pretty much it for me, guys. If you've got any questions, let me know. I'm going to unmute you. And if anyone wants to share their screen and show some of their own ideas or charts, feel free, guys. You're all unmuted now.
Still silent.
Nah, not everyone's unmuted. I'm just having a problem. There we go. 1 second. So anyone got any questions or?
I did. I think you killed it. It's good.
Anyone
Thanks
wanna,
very much.
Anyone want to share some of their charts or things they're looking at? No one? Yeah, it looks like that's it for tonight, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you liked the stream, give us a follow or you can join the group. There's some people from some other groups. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these lately. I'm going to try to do them once a week. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, good luck with the Open tomorrow, guys, if you're looking at making any trades. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.